This is a response to Grumpychuck's videos on gun control. To borrow a phrase from the late Colonel Jeff Cooper, it is of course presumptuous of me to claim that I know the answers, but looking around I certainly can say that I have seen a great many people who presume to know the answers and do not. But I've always been 100% in favor of gun control achieved through proper stance, controlled breathing, and a smooth trigger squeeze. But the gun control under discussion here is the theory that a woman found dead in an alley, raped and strangled with her pantyhose, is somehow morally superior to a woman explaining to police how her attacker got that fatal gunshot wound. I agree with Ted Nugent, who said it is wholly irresponsible to go into the world incapable of preventing violence, injury, crime, and death. How feeble it is, the mindset to accept defenselessness, how unnatural, how cheap, how cowardly, how pathetic. How could any man allow his family and his loved ones to be vulnerable when the means to prevent that are easily available? According to Sigmund Freud in his General Introduction to Psychoanalysis, he thought a fear of weapons was a sign of retarded sexual and emotional maturity. Perhaps. I think the gun controllers, not the sheep that follow them, but the instigators, have a more sinister motive. Machiavelli felt that to be disarmed was to be despised or to be despicable. He wrote in Latin, so the translations vary. But the general idea is a man who goes around defenseless deserves what he gets. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Expressed in a more modern syntax, we might say, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed because a well-regulated militia is necessary to the security of a free state. Nevertheless, regardless of what you think of that, the Second Amendment says, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Unlike all the other amendments that say Congress shall make no law, blah, 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 this one simply says the right of the people shall not be infringed. Some people think that registration is infringement, licensing is infringement, and I'm inclined to agree, although there is room for argument that a convicted felon, especially one convicted of violent crime, should not be allowed to possess firearms. In my view, it's a slippery slope. Shall not be infringed is the way it was written. Shall not be infringed, I am sure, is the way it was intended. And who are the militia? Who are the militia? Are they not ourselves? Congress have no power to disarm the militia. Their swords and every other terrible implement of the soldier are the birthright of an American. The unlimited power of the sword is not in the hands of either the federal or state governments, but where I trust in God, it will ever remain in the hands of the people. That quote, attributed to Benjamin Franklin, was published in the Pennsylvania Gazette in February of 1788. Thomas Jefferson, founder of the Democrat Party, said, "No free man shall ever be debarred the use of arms." On the other hand, one last quote, C.A. Baird said, "You need only reflect that one of the best ways to get yourself a reputation as a dangerous citizen these days is to go about repeating the very phrases which our founding fathers used in their struggle for independence." So, I caution you, the government of the United States has already issued a statement that people that go around quoting the Constitution are dangerous subversives, possibly even terrorists. I need to think about that for a while, so I suggest you join me. Have a good cigar and splice the main brace.